Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. We're back under the layout with a quick little update as to what I've done so far. And I ended up putting up the first ramp going down just temporarily, seeing how it looked. And it's looking pretty good so far, but I looked at the comments and also had talked with a few other people. And while the 1x3s would work going along here, I also felt that it was actually going to be better to use these, what do they call them, mending braces. And as you can see, they're pretty thick, and I think that these will work out for what I intend to use them for, which is, one, keeping these two pieces together, but then it'll also give a good support for the decking as well. I needed to also get some clamps, so that was part of the other reason I went there and got those. Let me readjust the camera and I'll show you what is happening on this other piece that I needed to cut through. Okay, let's see if I can do this with one hand or not. I ended up realizing that, again, with some comments and what I was looking at, I would probably have some space to have some leeway up top of the brace going over. And so I did end up taking the auto rack here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get my hand out of the way real easily, but nailed some track into this scrap plywood that is the same length as the ramp, or it's the same stuff that I cut from the ramp. And as you can see, maybe let's just put this right there. There we go. There is plenty of room that I can actually leave a good chunk of space or material of that cross brace. And so what I ended up doing is just marked this first mark as just kind of a safety, and then actually took one of these metal braces. Oh, come on. It's kind of hard filming and putting this up, and then just marking it so that it would be right there along that. And I'm going to use this just to add some additional support to it where it's going to be pretty close, but I feel like there's going to be enough with that. And then I will end up putting a couple braces under here as well going up. So I feel like that'll give enough support, and I'm less worried about that. I didn't get much else done today other than just this kind of test, as I had a lot to still work on. Or I had some other stuff to work on, I should say. But I also ended up buying this digital level that will give grades in that. So that is what I'll be using for figuring out and making sure that this is all the same grade going down. And as of now, it's looking like I may need to trim off just a little bit of this board. You can kind of see it, but that was always kind of a potential that may have to happen. I may also just leave it, as it's not really in the way right there in that corner, but we'll see. Just kind of depend on how things go. So anyway, that's it for what I'm getting done today and just kind of looking at. As I said, I had some other stuff I needed to get done, so we'll leave it with that and be back when I get a little bit more done. Okay, I've been working a little bit more. As you can see, I did get this cut back to here, and it does go about like how it is right now, so not too much. I think this was 5 millimeters thick. I can't remember. Anyway, I'll get my hands out of the way, or fingers out of the picture. I just got done cutting the gap here or cutting out a little piece of wood that I had there. It just wasn't going to work out well. So that's partly why I went through and did this, made it a little wider to fit. If I can get these, come on. Fit these braces on there to brace on the sides. Pardon the mess. It's going to get cleaned up after everything is done. But as you can see here, I added this little piece coming up just to, one, I knew that I was getting rid of the small little string run piece that was going on there. So ended up just cutting an extra little piece. Made a little bit of an accidental cut there. It was a little bit too wide, but works out. I put 2 of the braces there, and it is level and flat between the 2 sections. So that's good. And you notice here that this is a different color than up here. And that's because I went through, and I'll put pictures up. I went through and just kind of routed that down, made it so that it was going to be level with this plywood up top. So that is that for up here. Let me get down below the layout. There's a few things down there. Okay, the first thing that I needed to do was take the fascia off, and I don't know if it'll be shown or not, but you can see that screw hole right there. I needed to take the fascia off, remove the screw, put it up just a little bit so that I could cut this chunk out from this beam. I measured down and around and saw where the deck of the Helix portion was going to be and then what clearance I would need. And so did that on that one. And then this beam, it just needed a little bit, like a 1/4 of an inch, if that. So that's what was done there. I still haven't gotten some stuff remounted, but let's see if we can get a good picture of some of this. When I first cut the thing, the hole here for that with that little ramp going down, I went through and painted this so that it looked, kind of like rock and just a little bit of an illusion. And where I've needed to cut out a little bit more, you can kind of see that white in just above the brace. And then you can see the blue there. I need to go back and paint it and touch up because I know that I should say the plan eventually is to take the stuff that I cut out and then put it up along this edge here so that it's hidden, but I know I'm not going to have time to do that. And so I just want to get it painted so there isn't nasty blue like this that's there. So since I've got the clearance in the hole right here, cut out, I'm going to hurry and do that. And, see what else we can get done and be back in a bit. Okay, it's getting late and I'm about ready to call it a night. And my goal was to get all of the pieces bolted together and was able to accomplish that. So another check off for some of the goals. The first thing that I'll show is just a little more close-up view of where I routed that down and for where it matches up to the top deck. The bolts and braces are up there. You can kind of see them. But here is a closer view of where I was saying the gap was a little wide. I'm really not worried about it. It's level. It is a short run to the top. The brace that runs this way that it'll be supported on goes, it's either just right here or just slightly behind it. So I'm not worried about that. And it is double braced that you can see in there, hopefully. Get the shadow out of the way. The second part that I goofed on was I accidentally looked at the plan, thought, oh, that's plenty of space for let me get this piece out of the way. For the track, it should be fine. And didn't think that I needed the braces or account for the braces. Anyway, I have this little spare piece of Flex that, I'll be using Flex track for this, and it's actually fits in there without any issues with, just a little bit of room on each side spare. So that's good. And it's actually pretty level that I think the rails are level with the screw heads. And so that won't be an issue there. And the curve starts, for the oval piece starts back here. So it's clear of the plates, and it shouldn't be an issue. And I'm hoping it won't be an issue. We'll find out. But to be secure, I double braced here on this side as well, just to be safe. And then, but again, it's flat and smooth, and I'm really happy with that. The other thing with the bottom piece, which is underneath, I probably will end up cutting back more of this plywood. I'm not 100% sure yet on that. The reasoning is I still have 2 of the 4% Woodland Scenics risers, and that starts, I think, I haven't measured it out exactly to have any pinpoint, but it should be either here where I think that's some concrete patch that's on there, or there where that screw is at. And so that starts coming up there, and I want to utilize those just to be, I have them, I might as well use them. So I may cut back just to be, get level with that, but we'll see how it goes. I may just leave it. I don't know. The other thing is there's the bolts for there. I double braced that as well, as this is where I'm going to be doing some of that scenery that I was talking about. And so I wanted to have just that little bit of ease, peace of mind that there's a little bit of stability there, even though I will be having, some pillars that are going up to brace it as well. That should be okay, just having that little bit of extra. The other thing that was kind of a happy accident that I'm glad my paranoia kind of was kicking in is I left a lot of, I think that's about 5 inches of extra wood on this J piece, and ended up that I needed it for making this be exactly where it needed to be. And so that's there for that. And then I didn't do as much on this piece. It was only, I think, about 1 inch, but I think I also added, I think I may have added a little bit to that too. I don't think so because of where that paper's at. But anyway, there's a little bit of extra space there. So that just helps with, having it be a little more or less of a grade, I guess. But anyway, that is the kind of where we're at for now. And I think this will be the end of this video, as I know that I've got the footage beforehand, and this clip is getting a little longer than I wanted it to be. But we'll call that for now. Tomorrow I'm going to start. I will unbolt it, get the track laid onto it, and that way that's all done, and I just need to rebolt it. I'm going to end up putting, I guess this is going to get a little longer, terminal strips under here on this side so that I can just plug everything in there that I've got. So that's where we're at. We'll get the track and feeders put in tomorrow, and just keep working on this. But I want to thank everybody for watching, and thank all the recent subscribers that have subscribed, and really thank those that have been around for a while. I greatly appreciate it. Again, thanks for watching, and we'll see everybody in the next video.